You've started using Jamboard, and are you now wondering what else you can do with this tool? We can help you with that. Welcome to our session today on how to spice up your Jamboard. We will share with you how to use Jamboard as a progression board, as part of a digital breakout, and for those who teach math and science, how Quatio works with Jamboard. We will also focus on instructional and classroom management strategies when using this tool.
Hello, I am Janae Johnson, and I'm a math coach, and I have been an educator for the past 13 years, starting out in middle school and now working out as a math coach for our district. We have always had a great passion for math and education, which is a driving force behind my use of certain tech tools.
I would have to agree with that. I've known Janae for quite some time now, and I'm very impressed with how she uses technology in the classroom and how she supports teachers. And I am Tamara Ferguson, and this is my 23rd year in education, and I have spent most of those years as a science teacher. Now I work as an Edtech specialist for Cypress Fairbanks ISD, which is the same school district as Janae, so we actually work together. And my passion as a teacher and in my current role has always been student-centered learning. Now, just a reminder, we are on Twitter, and if you would like to reach out to us later and ask questions, we'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. Also, if you have Jamboards that you want to share, we would love to see what you have to share. Now, we do have a template that we're going to share with you because this is a little bit like a make and take session for you today. And use that template to build as we build ours. So we'll stop and pause, and because you're actually watching a video, you can hit pause on your video and stop at any time to try what we're doing on your own, and then restart the video and continue. One of the benefits of going virtual. To start out today, we are going to share how you can use Jamboard to support small group instruction. Often teachers ask, how do they know what kids are doing when you're working with conferencing with kids or with your bigger groups and you're doing small group instruction as lessons, and you're just wondering what's going on out there? And that's a big question that we would like to help you with today.
To that, just as a reminder, we are showing you what more you can do with Jamboard. So today, I'm going to go through how to create a progression board. Progression boards are great for small group instruction while the teacher is working with another group. This is easy for her to see where the kids are located at that moment. And it's also an easy way for the kids to see, okay, I've done task 1, it's time to move on to task 2. Tammy created all of this in PowerPoint. She brought it over into Jamboard. And then you as a teacher can add the sticky note just by clicking on sticky note. From here, the students can actually click on the sticky note and replace name with their name. So now as the class period moves on, I can actually move my sticky note. Another example that I created for our teachers is a Marvel example. Students love Marvel. So I really wanted to think of what will they engage with. Now, all of these pictures I actually found in Google, which is okay for this because I'm not sharing it out of the classroom. Remember, Google Photos tend to be copyrighted. So if you're going to use them, you can only use them for classroom purposes. And what I did was I found the backgrounds, I found the different pictures, I saved them, I created this in PowerPoint, and then I brought it over. As you notice here, we have these icons, and I want to show you how I built those real quick. The day before, I asked the students, give me your top 3 icons. They told me that, and within 5 to 10 minutes, all I had to do was bring the icons over to PowerPoint, and then I can attach their name to this. So let's say Ashley changed her mind. She doesn't want that. So all I did was just group these pictures. You could ungroup, change the name. Tammy wants to be Iron Man instead, and then you can group. And you will save this as a picture. What's really cool about PowerPoint is once you save these, they all come in as PNGs, so they're already transparent. Okay, so now that I've showed you a couple examples, you know what? Let's take a little time and actually build one real quick. Okay, so I like to build mine in PowerPoint. You all received this template. What I'm going to do is right now it's a Google slide. I'm going to download it as a PowerPoint. And then I have it here so I can use it, okay? Now, I like to do these in PowerPoint. You can bring them over to Google Slides, or you can even use Canva. PowerPoint is one of my favorite ones because they have a wide variety of different shapes, colors, fonts that you can use in your Jamboard. Canva is another one. It's free to educators. Like literally you get everything for free. So you can use Canva as well to create your Jamboard. As far as the pictures, as we mentioned before, Google tends to have copyright. So I like to use Pixabay or Unsplash. They have great free photos that you can bring in. And by doing that, you can share this with not only your students, but other teachers. So let's create one real quick. I already took the liberty and I found a background that I wanted to use because this theme is going to be zoo. Going to the zoo. So I found a background using Pixabay and I just enlarged it to cover my entire slide. From there, I want to find my icons. So I'm going to go to Pixabay, search zoo animals. Right now they come in as the really cool pictures, but if you come up here, change your color to transparent, you will get more of the comical type pictures. Click on here. What I really love about this, you can get a free account. And if you want to save these for later, just bookmark it. I'm going to download the picture. And then you can easily save it to your desktop, to your USB. That way you can have it to pull into your PowerPoint. Once I go back to PowerPoint, I'm going to insert, find my zoo animals, and bring them in. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, so now what I'm going to do is just shrink this a little bit. I can't use all 8 of these. I need them to be individual. So there's 2 ways you can do that. You can either go up here to crop, or you can right click, crop, and then just drag it over to the one animal you want. So we're going to go with the elephant. Now, yesterday in class, Stacy decided that she wanted to be the elephant. So I'm just going to insert a text box, type in her name. You can easily change your fonts, colors, however you like. I think I'm going to shrink this guy just a tad bit more and then group it. Okay. Now, what's really cool about this, you can continue to build your Jamboard, your progression board within PowerPoint. So after you have all your icons and you have your background, you need your bubbles. So I have one here already, but you can easily go to Insert, Shapes. There's many shapes you can choose from, but I like the beveled shape. I'm going to pull it out. You can easily go to format shape. I want to change the color of that. It was green, so I'm going to choose this green. You know what? I'm gonna go a little bit lighter. Okay. You can even change the line color. I'll take a darker green here. Keep in mind, you can always go to 3D. You can change the shape. You can change how it looks. So it's really just the kind of feel that you're going for. And then from there, we're just going to build it.
Are you doing Control C, Control V?
That's exactly what I'm doing. Control C, Control V.
Shortcuts.
Shortcuts are amazing. We're going to add a really quick title. So I'm just going to put.
That actually looks really nice. I like it.
Thank you. So I'm going to put a little text box real quick. I just want to type in progression board. Y'all can get creative with your titles. Remember, you can always change the color of the font. We can change all that cool stuff, okay? Boom, look at there.
Oh, we need to put that on a white background or something.
White background, I'll tell you what. How about this, Tammy? Because you right, that blue looks kind of, huh? Nah.
What about a glow?
A glow, how do you do that?
Go on to Format,
Format,
and you have text options.
Yep.
Click on the right side. See, it's on the right.
yep, text options.
There you go. And click on a glow. Click on the text. Sorry, the middle one.
The middle one.
There you
text.
go. And glow.
Glow.
And pick white as your glow. So your color will be white.
Color would be white.
And click on it. There you go. And there it is. Stands out. It pops.
Ooh, I like that one.
There we go.
Then,
I schooled you.
yes, you did. And then from here, guess what? You can literally, I think what I want to do, because that's kind of, I'm just going to pull these up a little bit. And guess what? We can click them all and pull them up at the same time, just so it won't be directly at the bottom.
That looks great. I like it.
Thank you. And then in order to do this, I just need to file, save as. Okay, find our place. I'm just going to put it to my desktop. And I'm going to put zoo background, my zoo progression board, PNG. I'm just going to export just that one instead of everything. And then it was saved to the desktop. So then I'm going to go back to our Jamboard. If you want to add an extra frame, you can come up here and add one. Add a frame. Set background. Choose image. Zoo progression board. Oh my gosh. Now, yes, we can kind of fix that. Like we can go back if we want just to kind of bring those words down a little bit, but it comes in. And guess what, y'all? The kids cannot move these. Okay.
That's like super duper important.
Really big deal. Then from there, you're just going to go back. You're going to get your icons. You can easily save those as a picture. And then bring that icon in, not as a background, but just as a picture. And then we're going to shrink that bad boy down. And then guess what? As the kids move, they can move their icon. They just can't move the board itself. Cool beans, huh?
So what happens if kids do manage to mess this up? Because kids are kids. They're gonna, if there's a way to break it, they're gonna break it.
Oh my gosh. Well, guess what? If they can break it, we can fix it. And the way we do that is you easily just go to these three dots, see version history. And it gives me all the versions that we had today. So I can go back and choose the one right before the student deleted that object. I would choose the version that I want, and then I would hit restore this version, and it will come back. That's really good to know for in case your students want to write on something else or delete someone else's. You can just go back to the version history.
And you know what else? There's an undo button. So if it just happened, teaching kids how to fix their own mistakes is always a good thing. Oops, I accidentally deleted that. Let me fix that real quick.
Perfect.
Because otherwise you are going to have problems, and teaching digital citizenship is an important part of putting kids in a collaborative space.
Thank you for that.
I know, right?
So now that we showed you how to create a progression board, guess what? You get to learn a little bit more from Tammy on how to create a digital breakout.
Digital breakouts are an amazing, engaging activity for our students, and you can even build them inside of Jamboard. Let's take a walk at how that might look. Now, looking at this picture, it kind of looks like just a plain old picture, doesn't it? But there's stuff hidden inside this frame, and the students need to identify where these rocks might be found and go find them. So, for instance, I'm looking for extrusive igneous rocks. So obviously I need to be looking somewhere over here, and we know they're by volcanoes. Look at that. I uncover it, and there's like a little Easter egg in there. So I'm going to move this rock down and put it in its little cubby hole. And look, there's a code. Now I'm going to look for the sedimentary rock. Well, I got to think about where they might form. And I'll click and find out that I have one hidden right here and pop it in. And I will continue doing that. And in the end, I'll end up with a code. That code could be entered somewhere else that allows you to unlock the next step of this digital breakout. Let's take you to another example. Again, doesn't look that interesting. It's just a plain old picture. However, it is part of a larger story. So let's take you through that. So all good digital breakouts have a backstory. So here's the backstory. Students will travel back in time. There's a little snippet of information they need, so it kind of gets them engaged, and off they go to the next step. And then it leads them into their task, and they need to identify what the correct answer is. Is it wind, floods, tornadoes, or storm surge? And that takes them to the picture in the Jamboard. So hopping back over to our Jamboard, we need to do kind of the same process that we did in the last digital breakout, and we're looking for the correct answer. So let's say I say the answer is wind, and I know from the previous image that this is what I'm looking for. I pull it off, and look, there's a little Post-it note. And when I click on it, there's a link for information. Once I click that link, I'll know whether I'm right or wrong. Okay, but that actually is the wrong answer. So I'm going to go over to where I know the right answer is. So I'm going to click on it, drag it off, and there's my information. There's my link that allows me to find out whether or not I'm right or wrong and a little bit more information. That link will actually take me right here. So there is a limitation with links inside of Jamboard. You can't click and go. They will have to copy this link and click Control-C and paste it into a new tab, leaving the old tab open. And this is where it will take them. This is designed to be an inquiry base, so it gives them a little bit of information as to why they're right with their answer. They watch a little video, and then off to their next step they go. They'll click on the little link on their little boat and go off to the next step. Let's show you how to make this. Inside your training template that was shared with you, the Google slide, you will find this picture. This is the same picture that we used. And together we are going to create a digital breakout, put it in Jamboard, and we're going to do it all together. The very first thing that I would recommend that you do, in fact, you kind of need to do, is to duplicate the slide. So right click on your slide and click duplicate. Now we have two. One is the one we're going to work on to create the little backgrounds with the little squares and stuff. And the other one is actually going to be used as your cover. So let's work on the background first. Now in the background, I'm going to want to create little hideaways. To do that, and I can do this in, again, just like Janae said, there's a whole bunch of graphic editing tools. She used PowerPoint. I can use PowerPoint for this, but I could actually, with what I want to do it right inside of slides. So I'm going to build it right here and then turn it into an image. I'm going to insert, begin by insert, and I want a shape. So I'm going to start over here, choose my shape, and this is the shape that I want. You, because you're working along right with me, can pick any shape you want. It's yours. It made a copy. Now I have some places where I'm going to hide my Easter eggs. I'm going to put them in the same place that I did in the sample. You can put your Easter eggs anywhere you want. It's yours. You don't have to do it exactly the same way I did. So I'm going to hide something in the boat, and I'm going to put my shape right over top of that boat. Now it comes into these colors. I don't like those colors. So up here in the toolbar, I'm going to change my fill. And I want something that kind of coordinates with my picture. So I'm going to pick this one, and it comes in as dark brown. Blah. So I'm going to click again on my color fill. This time I'm going to click custom and make it transparent. So I want a little bit of color coming through, but not a lot. Then I click OK. That looks better. So let me click off so you can see it. But I can't really tell that that's a box. So I want an outline. So once again, clicking on my shape and click on my border color. And this time I could do it white, but I think white might be a little weird looking. Yeah, you can keep it white if you want, whatever color works for you. But I'm going to change it because I want it to be a color that kind of complements the colors I already have. So I'm going to pick orange. And when I click off of it, it looks really narrow. So once again, clicking on it, this time I'm going to change the border weight to a little bigger so it stands out. Now, once you're happy with your box, you can copy it. Now, here's the thing with watching this digitally. You're watching a video. You can hit pause anytime you want. So if you want to do this and hit pause and then restart this video or back it up, feel free to do that. Now, what I'm going to do when you're ready, you're hitting play again. What I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to copy it. And a shortcut for copying things is Control-C, Control-V. That way I don't have to rebuild this over and over and over again. So when I click off, I can see it's right there. So I'm going to hide this where I want my next Easter egg to hide, or my little hidden treasure, and resize it. I do want them to be kind of small because you don't want to have large covers. And I'm going to put Post-it notes in here, so a square shape that's kind of small is perfect. And I'm going to repeat that process of copy and paste several times. If you would like to pause the video while you do this step, feel free. I'm continuing to go Control-V, pasting these wherever I would like them. I put one in the trees, so I'm making it square shape and smaller. Control-C, Control-V, that way I don't have to reshape it. Put one in the tower. So I have 4 hidden gems. You can put how many you want, 1, 2, 3, 4, probably not too many because it gets real busy. And once you're happy with it, we're going to save it. Okay, now we're ready to save. Once you have all of your little boxes where you want them, it is time for you to save this whole thing as an image. If you didn't know you could do that, surprise, you can. To do that, click File, and now you're going to download this, and you only want the current slide because you don't want all the rest of it, just the current one. And this is your PNG, which is your image file type. Click it. It's going to ask where you want to put it. So let's see where I'm putting it. Nope, not there. I want Jamboard. Where's Jamboard? Oh, there it is. Jamboard Breakout TCA. So I'm going to pop it in there. And and it's called training delete. Probably not. And this is actually my background image. Click, and you may want to title it the same because we're going to put a few images in here. So you want to definitely label this as your background. Click save, and look, it popped up in the bottom left. Let's leave it there for now. And let's go back to our Jamboard. So what I'm going to ask you to do is I want you to start from scratch. Go ahead and go to jamboard.google.com. And since you're watching this video, go ahead and pause this video and we'll wait for you and you can start back up when you're ready. Okay, now that you have your Jamboard open, go ahead and click on a plus sign. Let me show you this right here. You're going to click the drop down arrow and you can click a plus sign to add a new slide. So now I'm on a blank one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert the background. I want this to be fixed. I don't want kids to mess around with this at any point. I want this to be fixed. So no matter where you click on this background, it doesn't get changed. So I'm going to click on the background image. Now I can actually drag and drop these files. Actually, let me see if I can do that. Aha! I just taught myself something right now. I totally didn't know you could do that. Woohoo! Okay, so I have my background in. That was super easy. And this allows me to now work on the top layers. So I'll need a top layer for my boat, my door, my tower, and my wind. Now, wherever you put yours, you will need to do covers. So let's take us back to our Google Slides that we're working in. And we're no longer going to work on here. This part is done. We got our little boxes. Now we need our covers. If you're working on a Windows, this is going to be super easy for you. Down in your little search bar on the bottom left of your screen, I want you to click on it and type snip. When you do, you can see that there's a snipping tool right here or snip and sketch. They're the same thing. This is just a newer version. Clicking on it and opening it. Feel free to pause this video anytime that you want to have it pause and do the task so you can do it. Now, when I'm ready, click new. Now, the very first thing that I have is the boat. Now, the boat, I want to make sure, if you look at my boat right here with my, oh, there's my box. There's my box. I need to have whatever I cover to be bigger than that. So I'm going to go just outside the boat to make sure that wherever my cube is going to be in my background, it will be covered by this slip. So I have the whole boat. I'm now going to save it up here. And I'm going to throw it inside my TCA folder so I know where everything is. And this is called the boat. Just label the boat and click save. I'm going to repeat that process 4 more times. I have one over the door. Okay, I think that's going to be too small. So I'm going to do it again. I want it bigger than the door because I had it covering the door. You definitely don't want it too big, but you want it bigger than what your original box was. There we go. That's better. Click save. And this will be my door. And you're going to repeat this for each one of your little cubes that you had. And click save. Once you have all your little cover slips saved, and I only needed 4, so however many you needed and wherever you put them, it is time to go back to Jamboard. So I'm going to go back to my Jamboard. In my Jamboard, I'm now going to get my little covers in. I'm not going to do it as a background this time because I want this to be movable. To do that, I'm going to click on the add image on the left. And once again, I'm going to upload. And here's my little stuff that I have. So I have my tower. I'm going to open it, and you can only do 1 picture at a time. And I'm going to push it over, and it comes in really big, but you can resize and try to resize it. It's like a little bit like a puzzle, trying to get it to go where it needs to go, resizing it just a hair, a little bit smaller, lining it up, and let go. How'd I do? Oh, first time. Wow. Okay, you don't always get that lucky, but there it is. You're going to repeat that process a couple more times. So let me do it one more time, and you can do it at the same time. I'm going to bring in my picture. I'm going to upload it. Pick my image that I'm going to upload. Click open. Comes in. I'm going to resize it, kind of line it up where it needs to go in the background, and resize it so it's smaller. Line it up. I think I'm pretty good there. Let's find out. Click off. Yeah, I can't do everything perfect the first time. I only think I'm perfect. Let's see how I did. Move it over. We're going to go with the close enough category. Hopefully you're doing a little better than I am. Actually, I think if I just go down a little bit, there's that little cloud line right there. Let's see if I can line it up. There we go. That's pretty good. Awesome. So now it looks like it's all hidden in there. So remember when you're doing your digital breakout to have the story, have your whatever you're going to do inside of the Jamboard, and make sure you now click your link. So I am actually going to put behind these the little post-it notes. So I can put them in there. And I'm going to put my link. Remember, they have to copy and paste. You'll have to teach your kids to do this. You can choose your different colors. And so maybe it's a good idea to do the layers first, where you do your little post-it notes before your little covers. Because now I got to refit this thing over. Ew, okay, well, this also helps. Order. I want to put it on top. There it is. So I have to reorganize that and click off. A little off to a little bit. Pretty close. Okay, that is how you create the frame for it and your background. Now you're probably thinking, okay, so what happens when I have 30 kids hit the slide and it looks like chaos and pandemonium? Well, we got an answer for you for that one too. Now, here's one of the things that you could do to make life a little easier. I have over here a place for kids to be able to sign up. You could have them sign up, but if this is part of a digital breakout, odds are you're already going to have the kids in groups before they even get to the slide. So already assign your kids by whatever colors. These are the colors that are available built into the sticky notes of Jamboard. So these are your color choices you may want to choose. And you can have these 2, 4, 5 groups. If you need more groups, you can add your own, because you do have another option with the sticky notes. If you click on it, that is actually clear over here. And so you can put a color behind it, and that can give you a 6th group. So your kids already know what they are. They come into the slide and they click their name on it and they put their name. So you know who's supposed to be on frame 2, who's supposed to be on frame 3. And you, as management of this, can see what your kids are doing and where they are at that time. That allows you management strategies. Now, how do you get this to your kids? Well, if you look up at the top right of this screen, you will notice it says Master Breakout. That means this is my master copy. No kids will ever land on this. I don't want them messing up my beautiful masterpiece, because that would be bad. Because as you can see, it takes a little bit of effort to build this, and you don't want them messing it up. So once you have your master, that's when you go to your step of copying this. So 3 dots, make a copy, and you can label this one period 3, or if you only have one class, whatever, period 3 breakout. And you can put the date in or whatever. And I'm going to click OK. Give it a moment to think and make your breakout. So this is my period 3 breakout. Now, I am going to share this with my kiddos. First, I must make sure that they can edit it. So I click share. And down here, the only people that can open it is this. And that may not be what I want. Probably not. First of all, they need to be editors, or they're just going to be able to look at it and do nothing else. But depending on how you're sharing this, you may want to have anyone with a link. That's up to you to decide how that's going to work. Okay, once you've changed your restrictions off so that they have editing rights and possibly anyone with a link, you can now share your document. You have to make that step. Now, if you look up here and I click on here on my slide and I click on my next slide, this one says frame 1. If I click on this one, it says frame 0. If I share with my students this link and I put it in my LMS, Schoology, Canvas, whatever I'm using, Google Classroom, whatever you're using, then when they click this link, they jump to the slide. If I click this link, they jump to the slide. Now, you may want to have it so they jump to their slides. That's perfectly cool. But odds are you're going to want them to end up here. So this is the link you share. Now, this is the Digital 3 breakout. I have I have 5 groups. So I'm going to want everybody to have their own frame. So all I have to do is duplicate the slide multiple times until I have enough for each one of my groups. Now my digital breakout inside of Jamboard is ready to go. You might have been interested in knowing how to do the other digital breakout. That one you cannot do in Google Slides. You will have to use a more advanced form graphic editor. But what I was looking for that digital breakout was I wanted a volcano by a beach. It can find one anywhere. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. I'll make one myself. And these are the 4 pictures that I used to create this. Essentially what I did is I clicked on the picture, I formatted the picture, and I can click on picture effects and create the soft edges. And when I do that, I can actually merge these pictures together on top of each other. And that is what I did with these 4 pictures. Once I had my background, just like we did with our Google Slides, I put layers on top. These are just little boxes that I inserted, and just like the shapes, I could insert a shape, and that's where these boxes came from. They're just 3-dimensional shapes. My next step was to do these transparent little boxes, just like we did in Google Slides, so that process is exactly the same. Then in this case, I didn't put sticky notes, but I went ahead and put background pieces of information that they could identify for their actual breakout. And at this point, this is the background that I created. I used the same snipping process to create my little covers, and that is how I created this digital breakout. Now, we're not done here today. We have one more topic, and that is math inside of Jamboard. If you teach math or science, you may be interested in learning this. It may also be appropriate in some other content areas as well. But if you ever get frustrated with trying to create equations with formulas or anything else, this is going to be super important.
So now I'm going to show you how you can incorporate a great extension called Equatio. Equatio is an extension through Google, and it allows students to input math digitally. I know that's been such a huge problem lately with wanting to put in equations and graphs. Well, with Equatio, you can. On this example, the part that comes from the Equatio extension is the actual graph. So the students were able to pull in that graph as a picture and then put it in the assignment. In this example, I already have different pictures of table views from the calculator, and students will be able to use Equatio to actually input equations here. But I really wanted to show y'all this one, and that way we can actually do this together. So this can actually be used for like a interactive notebook. It could be used like more like study notes or just a digital foldable. So in math, we have rational numbers, and I want the students to be able to practice and use these notes to review what is a natural number, a whole number, an integer. So to get to Equatio, on this Equatio icon, Equatio pops in the bottom. This is where you can get different settings, but I don't need that right now. The only thing that I need is to insert an equation. So for example, I want to type in an example of an integer. So I'm going to do -5. I'm going to come down to this cute little copy picture, hit image. I'm going to hit the X to close that. And then I'm going to hit Control V for paste. And boom, my number comes in. I can enlarge it. move it over to where I want it to be. I'm going to change the order to center back. And then I'm going to put my little question mark and cover it.
So these are like flashcards.
Exactly.
Love it. Can I clap like a seal?
Yes, you can. So now let me close this up so you can see the whole thing. So now as a student, if I want to go back and study, I can easily move a question marks, integers. Great, I get a -5. What's another integer? -8/2, because that actually gives me -4. So that's just some quick examples on what you can do with Equatio in Jamboard.
Well, it occurs to me that math is not the only course that actually supports Equatio, right? Science does too. Look at this. Let me take a moment to show you how this might work for your science class. On your screen, I can see that I have some molecules that are animated, yay, and a little key to help the kids. You may want to give them a little bit more support than this because this little molecule right here might be a little hard to figure out what it is. But anywho, that's not the point of this. The point is, how does this work for science? To begin with, make sure, and you and your students, if they're using this, need to do this. Click on options up on the blue area and make sure your chemistry and your formulas are actually checked, because otherwise you won't get any of the science options.
That's also for math, the math formulas. They would miss out on that as well.
There we go. Then I'm going to click the same place that Janae clicked, and I am actually going to type in, and here's the cool part, it can figure out what you need. So I need carbon dioxide, and I can select the formula that I want with it. Boom, there it is. And I'm going to hit space a couple times. And the reason why I'm hitting space is because it allows your students to be able to have space to be able to balance the equation. And then I'm just going to write plus. There's what I'm looking for. And then of course I want water. And did I put enough space in there? I don't know if I put enough space in there. So I'm actually going to hit the enter a couple more times because I want to make sure I have enough space in front of those formulas to be able to balance that equation. Okay, then I'm going to write yields. There's my little arrow. And I need glucose. And again, I want to make sure I have enough space to be able to write in front of it because all that space will show up when I put it in. And then of course I do this. And my last one is oxygen. Choose the correct one. Now down here, I'm going to click and I want it to be an image. You only need to do that the first time because it just remembers that after that. Then I click OK, minimize that, and I'm going to hit Control V on my screen. And I'm going to line it up. And there we go. And that allows my students to now be able to pick up the pen tool and balance that equation. How cool is that?
That's cool.
It is. Now, we've covered a lot today, haven't we?
Yes.
Yes, we've done breakouts, we've done progression boards, and how to support math in both science and mathematics class into your Jamboard. But that's not all you can do inside of Jamboard, and we have some more resources that we want to share with you. To begin with, on your template, you will notice that we have some shared resources right here for you to be able to get that. Get started if you haven't used Jamboard before, because we didn't get into the getting started with Jamboard. We did talk about copyright, and here's the copyright for teachers when they're using them, because you do have a little more flexibility in education. That's not true in the corporate world, but here's a copy for you to be able to browse on your free time, like you have free time, right? I have some other examples that I want to share with you. And right here we have Twitter. Twitter, if you're not on it, is a great resource for you to be able to find cool things that other teachers are doing. So the first thing I'm going to do is write in Jamboard. If I could spell it, that'd be super awesome. Now, everything, it starts with top, but you can also choose these as filters. But these are things that people have shared online about how they're using Jamboard. And it's pretty amazing the things that people are using Jamboard for, giving you ideas, and sometimes they even share templates. One thing that I like to do when I come across something that has been shared is I click on this little up arrow, it's your little share thing, and I bookmark it. And once I bookmark it, I can now go into my bookmarks And these are all the things that I've bookmarked, so I can look at them later. Now, one person I want to point out is Julia right here. She actually came to one of our digital learning conferences. She does amazing things with Jamboard. She is a great person to follow on Twitter, and I'm going to let her know that I gave her a shout out on here.
I like that.
She'll like that. Another person, or another place would be Slides Mania. They have templates for slides, PowerPoints, and even Jamboards. But if you find something that is not actually a Jamboard template, we've already showed you how to turn it into a PNG. You can absolutely upload those as backgrounds into your Jamboard. So it doesn't have to be a Jamboard template. But again, notice I said in here I have a search results for Jamboard, but if you're looking specifically for Jamboard, just type in a little search box right here. Right, keeping or moving forward, we have people that are big in the digital world and sharing things. Holly Clark is very notorious for the things that she shares. She has her own place, and I'm going to throw this in our resource. So by the time you watch this video, it'll be in your resource. And same with Ditch That Textbook. That's probably something you may have heard because it's pretty famous. Ditch That Textbook. Just nod your head and said you heard of it.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
Are you lying? Anyway, if you're still looking for more, just go to Google and write in Jamboard. Again, spell it. Jamboard templates. And look at all the stuff that comes up.
That's cool.
People are sharing the mess out of Jamboard. Lots and lots of resources for you.
That's cool. Okay, so that's all we have for you today.
That's a wrap. Thank you for coming today, and we hope that you found something informative, something you can take back with you to your classrooms, to the teachers that you support, and we look forward to you maybe joining us again next year at TCEA. Yay!
Thank y'all for coming.
Howdy doody, howdy doody, do 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 do.
I'm not doing that, but hello, Tammy. Oh, wait, I was muted. I gotta do it again.
You're supposed to be muted.
Was I supposed to be? Okay, now I'm muted back again, so test it. So now I go with this crooked shirt again. Pull this side down. There I go, there I go. Pull this side up.
You're using Zoom to get dressed now?
Yes, I am, because I keep pulling the wrong side. Now that's better. No, it's still off.
Here, look up on the screen.
Oh, okay. Why didn't you tell me that before? Okay, I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
Okay.
Because we've been recording the whole time.
Okay. I'm trying to make sure I talk right. Talk right.
Clap my hand like a seal.
Okay,
Okay, I think we're good.
I'm ready.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Okay, make sure you smile. Maybe not like that. Ooh, yes.
Hello.
Sorry, I was just yawning.
Really?